Thank you so much for joining us for our second session for the Junior Chamber Career Fair. My name is Ashley DeMuth. I'm the CEO for the Menomonie Area Chamber. And today I also have Melissa Anderson, our program manager, assisting with moderating for today's event. We typically would hold the Junior Chamber Career Fair in person, but due to the COVID-19 crisis, we are holding it virtually this year. So for those of you who are joining us during a live recording, thank you so much for carving time out of your day. But we also will be video recording this and sharing it with job seekers, both at the youth as well as the adult level. So you will still have access to the information. And thank you again to the Workforce and Education Committee, a committee of the Chamber, for helping us make this a reality. When you come into the room, you will be muted. We do ask that if you would not like to take part in the virtual recording, that you make yourself unavailable through the video, the stop video down on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. We also will have the chat function available where you can chat with any of us as well as a group and private message individuals. Speaking of private message, if you are a 2020 graduate, we are going to be releasing a scholarship application if you will be attending Cbtc or the University of Wisconsin Stout this next year. We have a $1,000 scholarship available through the Chamber. If you drop a private message to Melissa Anderson in this live recording and provide your email, we can send that information along to you. As well as if you are an attendee and you are looking for more resources, if you drop your email in there, we can also send you the contact information and business information and website for the presenters who are with us today. We also would like to take a moment again to thank our premier sponsors, Cedar Falls Building Systems, Chippewa Valley Technical College, and Wisconsin Credit Union, as well as our elite sponsors, Prevea Health and Royal Credit Union, for making today's event possible. We also have various partners who are presenting today. We are presenting in 3 different sessions, and we have Cedar Falls Building Systems, Excel Energy, Chef Check Builders, Chippewa Valley Technical College, Keller Williams Realty, Menomonie Area School District, The Heights, Wisconsin Credit Union, Royal Credit Union, Prevea Health, Synergy Retirement Planning Strategies, American Lutheran Communities, and Seek Staffing. So thank you again for making this event possible. From a housekeeping standpoint, please feel free to come and go as you please. Once again, we will offer the link to the recording of this session. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us after we send that link out. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. First off, we have Chippewa Valley Technical College, and we have John joining us here. John, if you'd like to take the helm and get started, the floor is yours.
Sounds great. Thank you. So my name's John. I'm one of the college specialists at Cbtc. I've been with Cbtc for a number of years now, and Menomonie is one of the high schools that I work directly with. So during kind of normal circumstances, I'm fortunate in that I get to actually be at the high school once a week to meet with students, answer questions about programs, help you guys kind of figure out what careers and directions you want to go once you graduate. During these times where we've been dealing with the pandemic and things have moved to more of a remote environment, I've been available for video conferences to, again, still meet with students and get those questions answered. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about Cbtc and how we can be a resource for you as you're going through high school and what options we offer for you once you graduate. So I'll share my screen here, and I'm just going to kind of go through our website to show you guys some of the things that we have. Probably the best page for just getting a feel for what we do at Cbtc is our programs and courses page. So here's a full list of everything that we offer. You'll see there's a filter box on the left-hand side of the screen that kind of breaks down different ways to sort our programs because there are a lot of them. Probably the most important thing to look at right away is the degree type. So we have a variety of both associate degrees and technical diplomas. The big difference between what an associate degree and technical diploma is how the program is taught. So technical diplomas are very focused. So something like welding, for example, is a technical diploma. 9 out of 10 classes that you are taking are going to be directly welding related. There aren't a whole lot of general classes you're going to be taking with that. It's a very focused program. When we look at associate degrees, that could be something like business management. So business management, you're certainly still taking a lot of business classes. You're taking kind of a variety, marketing, human resources, things like that. But you're also taking a handful of general classes to round out that 2-year degree. A lot of students get kind of confused on the two because they'll assume associate degrees are 2-year degrees, technical diplomas are 1-year degrees. Not always true. Associate degrees are always 2 years, but technical diplomas can be as short as a couple weeks all the way to a 2-year diploma as well. So that's kind of the first thing for, that I have high school students consider is, what kind of schooling do you enjoy? Do you enjoy the more hands-on approach to what you're doing in the classroom? Do you enjoy having that variety of classes? Those are things to think about because there are options no matter what preference you have for your education. And then we also have our delivery methods. So we have a lot of our programs are offered in person at Cbtc with the hands-on nature of how we do our training and classes. But we also do have some programs that are offered completely online. We have programs that are offered in the My Choice format, which means you can literally pick if you want to do the class in person or online, and you can switch it up week to week. So if 1 week you want to come into class because it's a subject area that you're not as comfortable in, you can do that. If 1 week you want to, do the coursework online because you're working extra hours or you feel really comfortable in the subject area, you can do that as well. So it's very flexible option. And then we also have our locations here. So most of our programs are offered in Eau Claire, where we have 5 different campuses. We do have a River Falls campus, which offers a selection of full-time programs. And then our Menomonie campus also offers a couple programs as well. And what I always tell students, especially coming from Menomonie High School, is even if your program that you end up pursuing at Cbtc isn't offered at that campus, it can always still be an area for you to go to have somewhere quiet to study, to have computers you can access, resources that are available to you. So having that campus there is something I think can be really advantageous for you, especially because a lot of the students I work with that come from Menomonie end up commuting to Eau Claire just because the distance isn't that bad and it can save you a lot of money not having to pay that rent or not having to pay to live in a residence hall or a dorm. So next we'll kind of look at what happens once you narrow down the program that you're looking at. So let's say, animal science management is something that interests me. If we click through here, we have a breakdown that kind of just shares the details of the program. So it talks about what the career outlook is, what some of those opportunities are, some of the job titles you can get. We show you what you can learn throughout the program, what the subject areas are that we focus on, and it breaks down the degree as well. So we'll see it's a 60 credit associate degree. It's offered in Eau Claire. It starts every August. We'll see the estimated program cost breakdown here. And that's a really important part of Cbtc is the affordability piece. Obviously, one of the benefits that you'll hear a lot about is that technical college is more affordable than the university level, and that is always true. Our tuition costs are lower. There's less fees. Oftentimes, especially if you're going locally, again, you're not necessarily always having to pay for a residence hall. You can find more affordable places to rent or commute from home. So a lot of different ways that you save money, and also just the length of the degree. You're going for 2 years versus 4 years, so you're paying for less school. So this is just kind of the breakdown here, what you're paying each semester. The program is financially eligible. We'll talk a little bit about that too. And then we always have at the bottom of the page just some general information about the career. So on average, in this region, we're estimating our students will make about $50,000 starting off once they graduate. And then we also have a really cool automated kind of job search built into the website. So it shows you how many regional jobs there currently are in this industry. So we can see there's 58 jobs right now that this degree would be a fit for here in the Chippewa Valley. And again, we got to hear from some of those great employers earlier today. That's another benefit of the technical college is we're really, really closely partnered with all of our local employers here in the Chippewa Valley to make sure that we're meeting their needs. So all of our programs are designed to end in a job description. Close to 93-94% of our graduates are employed within 6 months after they graduate. And again, close to 90% find jobs directly related to the field that they studied at Cbtc. So we always want students to know that if you're paying to attend Cbtc, you're coming to one of our programs, taking classes with us, that there are jobs for you, and there's jobs for you here right in the Chippewa Valley. Moving on, what I'll talk about next is the transfer process. So even if you are a student who knows I'm 4-year bound, the bachelor's degree is the route that I'm going to go, you can always still start at the 2-year level and then transfer. And there's a lot of benefits that come with that. Again, the affordability piece, 2 years of CBTC, 2 years at the university, you're saving money for those 2 years that you're doing at CBTC. So animal science here, these are all of our transfer agreements. You can take it right into any of these institutions that we've partnered with. Stout, UW Eau Claire, UW River Falls tend to be some of the more popular transfer options for our students because those are the local institutions. But another thing to know is if you are looking at these transfer agreements on our website, just because an institution isn't listed doesn't mean they won't take the credits. It just means we haven't formalized an agreement with them. Kind of on that topic, we will look at the liberal arts program. The liberal arts program, so how I kind of talk about this program with high school students especially is if you've ever had a friend or someone say, yeah, I'm going to college and I'm just starting by taking some of my general classes, that's what this program is. It's a 2-year associate's degree. You come to CBTC and you take a variety of classes, sciences, maths, Englishes, and then you can take those classes and transfer them to a university of your choice. So this is one of our most flexible programs. You can do it online, you can do it face-to-face. Once you graduate with this degree, you can honestly take it almost anywhere that you'd want to go for a 4-year bachelor's degree. So it's a great program option. Again, if you're just looking to save money for those first couple of years, maybe stay closer to home. Also a great option for students who are maybe undecided about what they want to do. So if kind of in the back of your head, you're thinking a bachelor's degree is the route I want to go, but I'm just not sure on the major yet. I'm not sure what direction I want to go. This can be a really great program choice for you because you get to experience all these different classes and just have a nice, smaller, more local place to start. So that's kind of our program information. Again, if you guys ever have questions about programs, always feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to dive into the details with you and have those questions answered. The next thing I do want to look at is paying for college. So on our Paying for College webpage here, we talk about the different funding sources for school. So through financial aid, which seniors, I know you guys have heard a lot about, and juniors, you'll start to get some of that information going into this year. Financial aid is how most students pay for school. And the main types of financial aid are loans and grants. So loans, of course, that's money you receive that you pay back after you graduate. Grants work sort of like scholarships. They tend to be more need-based, but grants are a form of aid that you do not pay back. So it just goes directly towards your tuition. You don't have to pay that money back after you graduate. So they're always really great when you can get them. We do work study. So work study would be basically you're employed at CBTC and you work a couple hours with us, and then that money goes towards your tuition. And then there's different veterans benefits as well. The financial aid checklist here is really where I refer students who are starting that process of looking into financial aid. The Fafsa is kind of the big term that you'll hear a lot about, and that's basically the financial aid application. So it goes through the federal government. You go to fafsa.gov to fill it out, and then once you fill out that application, you choose what schools you want to send it to. So the nice thing is you can send it to 5, 6, 7, however many schools you apply to have it with them. And I always tell students do that Get the FAFSA done as early as you can. It's one less thing to worry about when you're making that final college decision. And then once you do decide what school you want to go to, we send you your financial aid reward package. So that includes all of the loans and grants you're eligible for. And FAFSA, again, always a great thing to fill out, even if you're thinking, I don't think I'm going to take out loans for school. I plan to pay it out of pocket. Applying does not commit you to anything. You can decline every loan you're offered if you want to. So always a great idea to at least see what you're eligible for so you can make the best choices for yourself. So again, FAFSA seniors, if you haven't filled this out yet, but you're planning to attend school somewhere this fall, definitely do this as soon as you can. Juniors, this October is when the FAFSA will open up for you guys. So that'll be the earliest you can apply is into your senior year. So that's, again, kind of the short and easy version of financial aid. Obviously, everybody's financial aid situation is different. So we do take a really individualized approach with students. If you ever, want to meet with somebody to discuss your financial aid reward package or questions that you have, we have resources on campus for that. Just a couple last tidbits I'll share. Seniors, if you are still kind of undecided about what you're doing this fall, maybe having a change of plans, just know it is not too late to apply to Cbtc. I am happy to help you with the application process and checking off everything that we need to get done for you to get started this fall. And juniors, you guys can apply at any time. Our application for the fall of 2021 opened up back on May 1st. So you can submit apps whenever you would like. I do encourage applying early. We do have some programs that have waiting lists at Cbtc. So sometimes getting that application in early can make a big difference. And again, applying, and this is something that it seems like a simple concept, but I have a lot of students that still get confused by it. Applying to a college does not commit you to that college. It just kind of gets the ball rolling and opens that door as an option for you. So even if you're not 100%, I don't know if I want to go to Cbtc, if I want to go to Stout, or where I want to go to, it never hurts to throw an application in if you're considering that school, just because you have that door open then for you. But that's kind of the information that I had to share today. I believe we are doing questions at the end, so I will answer any if we have those at that time.
Great. Thank you, John, for that very comprehensive overview and for explaining the FAFSA and the financial aid and the applications. I think that, for me personally, I feel that was a very confusing time at the end of high school and knowing what you should or shouldn't do. So thank you for sharing that. It absolutely is valuable information. Next we have, and we are holding off for questions until the end, but we will get to those. Next we have Brandy Gregory with Keller Williams Diversified. And Brandy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to have an opportunity to talk to you today about exploring a potential career in real estate. It's been very exciting and rewarding for me, and it's going to be tricky to condense it down into a short time, but my goal today is just to give you a little bit of a taste of the day in the life of a real estate agent, what we can do to help our clients. And if there's anyone that has any further interest, feel free to reach out to me directly. And I'll just start by sharing my screen here. Just take me one moment to bring this up. Okay. So as I mentioned, I have a lot of information, and I'm just going to spend the most of the time just talking a little bit more in general about what real estate agents do, kind of who we are, and what it would be like to have a career in that industry. So I am the managing broker for Keller Williams Realty Diversified. We have our main office out of Eau Claire. The one nice thing as an agent, I also have flexibility to work from home as well. So I have a home office, which is where I'm zooming in from today. And a lot of people might not be super familiar with what real estate agents do. So one of the main things, just to summarize, that we do really is help our clients through the buying and selling process of real estate transactions and managing that whole process do all the components that fit together in that to make it as seamless as possible. And there's a ton of things that go behind the scenes that many people may not realize. So we always start with needs consulting and analysis. So whether it's a seller looking to sell their home and maybe they're relocating or they're upsizing or downsizing or for various reasons are looking to sell, we start with that needs analysis, and we will help them with anything that they need to get prepped. So we'll provide a comprehensive market analysis. So it's a comparative market analysis is what CMA stands for. And that is where we take all the data and we show them, this is what the market is doing, this is what comparable homes are selling for, so that we optimize and price the property appropriately. We help with any prep work. So if there's some repairs that might need to be made or some staging tips and techniques, it might be a pre-inspection, they might need some affiliate connections with some contractors. So we help coordinate and get that all prepared, bring in our professional photography staff, and get everything ready to go on market. And on the buy side, we help our buyer clients to get ready to buy. So that's a really detailed meeting where we find out what are your hopes and dreams, what are you looking for, what's within your budget, what's on the market, and so we start talking about all of that. So while it is considered a sales role, I really consider it a consultant role because it's completely based around the consumer needs. So we also then will move on to the next steps, which would be helping through any of those contracts and negotiations. So as a real estate agent, you get your license, which gives you a limited ability to practice real estate law, essentially, within the scope of that license boundary. So we're not lawyers, we're not attorneys, but we do have the capability to fill out the state designated real estate forms to perform those transactions. So purchase contracts, sale contracts, negotiating, all of the things in between. There's all kinds of terms when it comes to real estate. So it's not just about a price, it's different contingencies that you might have, meaning things that would need to happen in order for the sale to proceed or not. And everything in between that is the transaction management. So a buyer might be asking for a home inspection, for example, to make sure that they know what they're getting into. That's an independent third-party inspector, and we can help coordinate that as well, and then do any negotiating that comes out of that if there are certain repairs that need to be made or adjustments that need to be made to the contract accordingly. So we're kind of the keeper of everything with that contract. So deadlines, making sure everything stays on track for our clients as well, and then getting through to the closing. So we work with many affiliates throughout the process. So we help coordinate with our lender partners to make sure that everything is on track on their side. If there's anything that we need to negotiate differently for them to be able to do their role and help the client, we help coordinate that. We help provide affiliate contacts, as I mentioned, things like contractors and whatever else might be needed throughout that process, title companies. There's all kinds of things that go on behind the scenes in terms of making a real estate transaction be successful through to closing. And closing is the day that the buyers get the keys and the sellers get the check, and everyone gets, hopefully what they want in the end, and can move forward with their next goals. So, and then clients for life is that, our goal as being a good agent is to develop relationships. So again, it's not about just doing a transaction. It's about having exceptional customer service and being that go-to person and resource for anything related to real estate questions that we might be able to help with. And again, a lot of that is helping to refer to affiliates. So sometimes they might need a real estate law attorney, and then we would, refer to some local contacts that we have that way as well. So just kind of helping to be a conduit to facilitate the client's real estate goals is kind of a quick summary. So it's very exciting. It's very rewarding. Every day is different. It does not get boring. I think I could write a book called The Adventures in Real Estate from all of the fun and unique circumstances that we come across. So if you're looking for something that is really adventurous, you like a lot of variety, that is definitely one of my favorite parts of the role. So some top skills needed. So education and licensing, it's a low barrier to entry. I come from a background of UW-Madison. I have 2 degrees from the School of Business there in Marketing and Management. You don't have to have any formal, degree. You could come from all walks of life to become real estate agent, as long as you have the appropriate skills, which is really about doing the right thing for the client at all times, being very customer centric. Excellent communication is definitely top on the list to be successful. Again, you are the keeper manager of the contract and the timelines and the deadlines, and helping all of that stay on track. So keeping your clients extremely well informed, educated throughout the process, what's happening, what's going to happen next, is extremely important to be successful in this role and have those good relationships and trust. In terms of the education and licensing, they offer a variety of ways that you can get your license. You can be self-study online, which could be very quickly. Sometimes people get through it within a month. Sometimes people take longer, up to 6 months. It just depends on your own pace in learning style and how much time you have to commit to getting licensed. It's also very cost effective. So I've got breakdowns of the costs and everything, but for the purposes of our time today, I just wanted to kind of give you an intro there. So if you'd like more details about, what the education requirements are, what the cost requirements are to get your license, things like that, I'd be happy to share those as well. So other skills, again, really that communication, customer service, I can't strive that enough. If you're not someone who likes to serve others, maybe not a good fit. If you're someone that you really, enjoy helping people and you feel rewarded and kind of filled up by seeing other people get what they want and their goals, it's a great fit, because, having the opportunity to help people with typically their largest purchase decision in their life is really, really rewarding and fulfilling to be able to be a part of that process. So being very organized is extremely important. Knowing what those dates and deadlines are, and having great time management skills and leadership skills are all very important. About real estate agents. So real estate agents are self-employed, and we hold our license with a brokerage. So my license, as I mentioned, is held with Keller Williams Realty Diversified. And so I run my transactions through my brokerage, which helps me cover things like E&O, errors and omissions insurance, and of course gives me certain training and education opportunities and leadership opportunities as well. But ultimately, I'm my own boss. So I answer to myself, again, within the bounds of my license laws and ethics and things like that. But in terms of my schedule, I set my own schedule. I decide, what hours I'm going to be doing my talking to new clients and my follow-ups. And every day might, like I said, look different, where I might have an appointment in the morning where I meet a brand new client and we start the process. And then later that afternoon, like today, I have a closing. So I'm at the end of a process with someone, and kind of everything in between. We've got things where, okay, I might be following up on an appraisal deadline today, or checking in with a home inspection and negotiating for some repairs. So always something new and exciting going on. With that being said, the nice thing as well about real estate is you're really in charge of setting your own goals and schedule and income. And it is a commission-based career. So really you have that limitless potential. Some people choose it to be a part-time supplement because they just are fascinated by houses, and they like, you've watched any of the HGTV shows, you kind of have an idea of the variety of things that we can do in the industry. Some people want to invest in real estate as a passive income vehicle for them. So it's, again, to support whatever your own goals or needs are. And then within that, you can grow it as big or small as you'd like. Many agents are independent, and they just do everything for the transaction themselves. Others build up a team, and then they have, they move through more leadership positions, and they hire assistants to help with some of the back end stuff that would involve scheduling or inputting of listings, or helping to market properties, or helping the buyers on the searches. And they might have a dedicated buyer's agent or a dedicated listing specialist. So again, there's so much flexibility in finding where your skills are and where your goals are, and different ways to support that. So that's probably one of the things that I enjoy most about the opportunity. I want to be cognizant of the time here. So I have a lot of slides about Keller Williams, just because I think it's really important to choose a great fit for you with your own culture and values as well. But I just wanted to kind of touch on them in a general basis. So at Keller Williams, our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. We strive to be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. And we have values of God, family, and business. And again, that's whatever that looks like to you. So we have a lot of great training to help support our agents. There are 3 different models when you look at real estate companies. And so there's an independent model, an interdependent model, and then a traditional dependent model for brokerages. So this gets a little bit into the specifics, which again, I just wanted to give you an introduction. So if you do start to explore this career opportunity, you realize that there are very different business models in how they work. And so it's important to kind of start there and see, well, which model best fits my needs, and then which companies within those models offer the best cultural and value a fit. Let's see, a little bit about our company. So Keller Williams is the largest independent real estate franchise in the country. We're actually in over 42 countries globally as well, and we have a network of over 154 real estate agents and over 800 offices worldwide. So there's a lot of opportunities within the company itself as well. So beyond just being a local agent, you can move up to, even at an international level. This is just a quick preview of some of our top accolades. When I was looking at companies to be a realtor, I wanted to decide based on 3 main criteria. One was training. I am someone who likes to be very well educated in what I'm doing, and training in real estate is ongoing. It never ends. You're never going to know every scenario that you're going to run into in real estate. So it's a constant opportunity to learn and grow. And so Keller Williams was voted the #1 training organization by Training Magazine across all industries worldwide. So that we found to be a very great honor and a huge accolade. We're also a top employer of women and veterans. So those were as deemed by Forbes. You can see some of the other accolades we have here on the screen. Again, I'm not going to take time to go through them all, but just know that these are important things to look at with whichever company you're looking at to determine what might be a great fit for you. In 2018, Inc. magazine voted Keller Williams the best workplace. So again, pretty awesome. And Career Bliss said that Keller Williams is the happiest company to work for in America. So some pretty huge accolades there that speak to our company. And again, this is across all industries for some of these awards, like the happiest company. That's not just within real estate. So some pretty cool things that we get to be a part of. I just wanted to talk briefly on our culture. I'm just checking the time here. Culture is extremely important. What that is your values, your integrity, your code of honor, if you will. We believe in win-win or no deal. We believe in doing the right thing. If you always operate with what's best for the client and not for your own personal self, you will win every time, because even if something falls apart or it doesn't work out in that instance, again, it's the right thing to do, and it'll always come back around. So one of our vice chairman, Mo Anderson, she's just a wonderful lady in our company. She's written a book called A Joy-Filled Life, and we have actually many books that our folks have authored. So we've got The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller, who's our founder of our company, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. These are models and footprints of systems to be successful within the field of real estate as investors and agents respectively for those things. But one of the things that Mo said is how high we will go will be determined by how high we can lift our people. So one of the things we do as a company is we commit every year to a red day. It's always the first or second week in May, and it is across the franchise, so across the world. We kind of shut down the office, and everyone goes out and is encouraged to be hands-on in your community. Now, of course, we like to be involved throughout the year and in all different organizations and times, but this is just a commitment to that day where we just globally kind of stand together to show our support in our communities. So that's something really cool that I'm proud of about our company culture. Technology. So another top reason that I looked at Keller Williams was for the technology that it had to offer. And we have many accolades associated with that. So we have our own real estate app. We're the first in the industry to develop our own technological platform for how we manage our business, our CRM, our customer relationship management tools and software. And so, as you know, real estate looks very different today than it did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even 20 years ago. You talk to some of these agents that have been in the business for, 25 years, and they tell me stories about how, yeah, we obviously didn't have smartphones and we didn't have GPS, and we would have to map out the route, and we'd open the paper and look at properties and then have to meet with the client and check with the agent, is this still available? I mean, it's just totally different. Now things are right at our fingertips, and we can share our apps with our clients so they can search seamlessly. It's just amazing. So a lot of cool opportunities throughout the industry as well, but certainly within our technology. And on some of those honors and awards pages, we've won several awards for our technology within the industry as well. I mentioned training. We're a top training organization. I'm just going to kind of go through some of this. We have national conferences and events, a couple of them every year as well. But this is kind of the summary about our company. And again, whether you're looking at any company in a career in real estate, these are some things that you'd want to kind of look at and get information about so you can make a well-informed decision. What does their technology look like? What is the culture of that company? What is their training models and their track record? So that is kind of the things that I wanted to share today. So I appreciate you tuning in and taking some time to learn about a career in real estate. My contact information is here. This is my direct cell number and my email, brandy, brandig @kw.com. If you have any questions or would like any additional information, I'd love to talk to you about what a career in real estate could hold for you.
Great. Thank you so much, Brandy. We can definitely tell from your enthusiasm how passionate you are about your career. And I actually learned some new topics for real estate as well. So I appreciate the information. We are going to continue to hold questions until the end of the session. We have two more presenters, Menomonie Area School District or School District of the Menomonie Area and Seek Staffing, as well as a little bit of information from Heights. Stephanie, I'd like to ask you from Seek if you'd like to step in at this point and talk with us a little bit about, from a staffing agency perspective, what workforce looks like for you.
Sure. So my name is Stephanie May. I've been in the staffing industry for a little over 8 years. Incredibly familiar with the Menomonie area. I relocated to Menomonie in the late 90s. I had several children graduate from Menomonie High School. I still own a home there. I've actually known Ashley for a number of years. Believe it or not, I hired her while she was in college. So I have a lot of connections. I just want to talk briefly about what a staffing agency can do and what we are. It's not the same as it was in the 70s and 80s, where if you got fired or there was a mass layoff and you just need work for the next couple of weeks, we can help you out. Ironically, I don't have a lot of temporary positions. The summertime is better. We do like to hire high school and college students and work with them on their schedule. But most of our positions are long-term, either a temp to hire or a direct hire. Temp to hire is basically a security blanket for a business. They kind of get to try it before they buy it. They get to have the employee start, see their attitude, see their work ethic, see their behavior, their attendance, their learning style. And if they want to hire them on, then after a certain number of hours, they can go ahead and do that. If they choose not to, they pass, and they would move forward with a different candidate. The advantage to that from a business standpoint is they don't have to worry about having a whole bunch of people hired on and then let go, which affects their costs, their unemployment, their work comp, administrative duties, HR duties. The advantage from an employee or a worker standpoint is that I have multiple jobs. We work with, I think actively, COVID's affected us a little bit, but I think we have about 26 current customers, current businesses that we're staffing for, over 100 that we work with. So if you try a job and you're like, yeah, I think I would like this, and it turns out that you don't like it, you can come back to us at the staffing agency and we can offer you something else. When somebody asks me what I do, I don't tell them that I'm a skilled trades recruiter for Seek Careers on Staffing. I feel that what we do is to help make this area a better place to live and work. If people are employed, they tend to spend money. Money on housing, money on cars, money on clothes, money on entertainment, which then in turns generates economy in our neighborhoods. Also, when people have money, crime tends to be a little bit lower. You have less theft or less illegal activity if you are not struggling. Family life tends to be better. Oftentimes, one of the biggest arguments in a relationship is money related. So we like to help you have money. We like to help you have a job, and we like to help you learn what it is, what you want. I work a lot with high school students. Oftentimes they don't know what they want to do. They want to go to college, but they don't know what for. They want a job that's going to be around and needed and not for. It's a great opportunity to see what a skilled trade would be, to see what an office position would be, to see what a light industrial position would be, and to see if it's something that you can see yourself growing and learning with. We have been in business. This is our 50th year, although this area has only been 5 years. We started down by the Milwaukee area and have just kind of grown towards the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro. We do cover the Eau Claire and Menomonie areas, as well as Hudson, Wausau, Stevens Point, you name it, we're kind of there. Due to COVID, we have converted our process to be 100% virtual. So you don't ever have to come into our office. You can apply, interview, and do the entire hiring process from the comfort of your home on your phone or your tablet. I like to spend time speaking at the high schools. I give tips and tricks on how to build a resume, an appropriate email address to use, and not necessarily your high school one, but not something that divulges too much information on your hobbies or your pastimes or your age. I like to give tips and tricks on how to format your resume so that somebody can't tell how old you are, so that somebody couldn't discriminate against you because you're too young or too old. If somebody has limited work history, then there's a different style of resume that you can focus on skills. If somebody has a lot of job hopping, then you adjust your resume to not focus on the fact that you haven't been able to hold a job. I enjoy volunteering. I have spoken at the prisons, at the jails, at Huber, at Cbtc, at high schools. It is an incredibly rewarding position to sit where I sit and take people that are either inexperienced or maybe down on their luck, or maybe they'd worked somewhere for 20 years and the company went under, and they find themselves in a position that they never thought they would be in. Seek is very ethical and very honest and incredibly black and white. Wisconsin is a felony-friendly state. Oftentimes it's hard to gently educate businesses that they cannot discriminate against a criminal background based on something that isn't related to the job. So I help kind of bridge that gap between the employee who might be struggling and the company who doesn't want to hire anybody that has a felony. I'm always available. I'm always working, as I know Ashley can attest to, and she's probably nagged me about it before. I'd be happy to share a cell phone, email. I'd be happy to speak to a graduating class or a class of juniors. I would be happy to just share a little bit about what you can accomplish by working with a staffing agency. It doesn't necessarily have to be Seek. I actually don't know anybody who would register just with Seek and not with Express or Manpower or People Ready or Bear Staffing. Most of the time when you get to that point, you're registering everywhere. It helps us do the work for you. I can reach 30 companies in a day that might take you a month to do. And I'm also reaching the correct person who can actually make the decision on hiring you, versus if you apply online, it's going into a pile with everybody else's application. So staffing agencies are not bad. We help a lot of customers, businesses, clients save a lot of money in unemployment, work comp, recruiting, hiring, HR. And we also help a lot of individuals find that perfect start or that niche of where they need to go and to maybe get a chance to try something they've never tried before.
Thank you, Stephanie, for that information. I think, you know, as we're talking about different workforce options and what's available, a staffing agency is a good opportunity to learn about many jobs that are out there. And I know that Seek specifically focuses some on skilled trades as well. So we definitely appreciate the information, and Stephanie's contact information will be included in the packet of information that we will send out if you provide your email address either during the live video or if you contact us watching the replay. So thank you for that. Again, we are holding off on all questions until the end of this session. And next we have Heidi with the School District of the Menomonie area. Heidi, are you with us today? I know the school district was having some technical difficulties. Heidi, can you hear us okay? All right, well, we will move on and see if we can get Heidi set aside from her difficulties here and see if she can join us here in just a few minutes. We also had information for the Heights here in Menomonie. The Heights is a new student housing facility that is going up, and they offer some interesting opportunities where you can live in their facility as well as work at their facility. And I believe, Melissa, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, this is a live-in position, so they are looking for a community assistant. If you haven't had a chance to check out the Heights, they have a really great website, and you can follow them on Facebook. A lot of information. If you are a senior or a junior and you're starting to scout out, if you want to stay in the Menomonie area but go to school, it's a really great opportunity with kind of a community-centered living facility. And they have this community assistant position available, which is on your screen here. We would encourage you to reach out and learn more about this position. As you can see, they have fully furnished apartments. They have a pool, a sky deck patio. It's a really trendy new age learning or living facility. And if you can live there and work there, a really great opportunity, save on some transportation costs as well. But the Heights wanted us to share that information with you, and this also would be included in a packet of information as included if you drop your email in the chat box, as well as if you are watching the replay, you can contact us at the chamber. We'll have our contact information on there, and we can pass this information along to you as well. So just checking one more time with you, Heidi with the School District of the Menomonie area. Heidi, are you able to join us?
We've been messaging, and it sounds like still technical difficulties. She's not muted, but she can hear us. Unfortunately, we cannot hear her. I did ask her to get her presentation, but that is not possible. So for those interested in a position or career at the Menomonie Area School District, we can certainly get you that link, that contact information, connect you with Heidi or some other staff member there.
Great, thanks for that information, Melissa. We will go ahead and move to questions and answers. And I know that we have a few stock questions that we like to ask our presenters, as well as we would invite anyone from the audience, if you are joining us live and you would like to ask a question, please feel free to unmute yourself and join on in. But one of the questions that we've had a lot of questions, one of the questions that we get a lot is about apprenticeships and internships, and what your business or organization has available in that realm, and what the difference is between standard employment and apprenticeships or internships at your business.
So I can start and just kind of talk about how CBTC plays a role in apprenticeships. So apprenticeships, if you're unfamiliar with how they work, it's essentially where you are getting paid to do training on the job with an employer. And then during that apprenticeship, you're also going to be going to a technical school like Cbtc and doing related instruction a couple hours a week. So it's a really great opportunity for students because you're not having to pay tuition typically, and you're getting paid as you're doing your training. So it's you're not really worrying about student loans, going into debt, things like that. And there's really a wide variety of apprenticeships. So through CBTC, we're connected with a bunch of industries. We do training for electricians, electrical line workers, plumbers, and many, many more. So for high school students, if you're looking at an apprenticeship, a lot of them do require you to be 18 years old. And there's a couple different ways that you approach apprenticeships. A lot of apprenticeships, you have to find the employers first. So you apply through them to get that apprenticeship. There are some unique apprenticeships specifically in the construction industry, like being an electrician, where you actually apply through more of the local unions, and then they match you with the employers from their application process. So if you do ever have questions about getting involved in an apprenticeship, if you're not sure what employers to connect with in the area, always feel free to reach out to me. It is kind of a multifaceted approach because you work with the employers, you're working with CBTC. There's a lot of different hands in the pot. So I'm happy to help you navigate that process and get you in touch with some of the right contacts.
Great, thank you for that, John. Stephanie or Brandy, did you have anything to add to that?
Sure. So with real estate agents being independent instead of, there's not, the standard employment. So it's a little bit different because you're essentially an independent contractor to the brokerage who holds your license. So we do offer mentorship programs, which is a way that you can get started and have a dedicated agent who's experienced in the industry, who has met a certain amount of criteria to become eligible to be a mentor, basically pair with you and help you get your career off to a great start. Again, though, with our training system, I mean, the volume of training materials is overwhelmingly endless, to be honest. So there's all different ways that it just depends on that person and how they prefer to learn. If they're more independent and want to go through, the training style, or if they want to be paired with someone as a mentor. We also have another model, which is, as I kind of was mentioning, with the opportunity from the leadership side to move in, you can build a team. So we do have real estate teams, and the team would have a team leader, someone in charge of their team, and then there's they might have a listing specialist and a buyer specialist and administrative support. And so there are also opportunities if you'd like to get started joining a team, then that's a much more structured, each team has a little bit of flexibility in how they run their business model, what the requirements would be to be on the team. But that's a much more hands-on approach to be, mentored and brought through the business that way. And we're very flexible to the needs of the agent. So some people start on a team or start as an individual agent and they say, gosh, I'm just feeling kind of lost in the sauce. There's so much in this industry to learn and to do, and I don't really know how to get through all this training and where to start and how to do it in real life. So they might say, I want to join a team and have that experience where someone tells me, do this and then do this and then do this. And some people are like, no, I got into this to be totally independent and Typically teams are more structured where you come to the office at this time, from this time to this time, you're working on these things. From these times, you might be out doing showings or meeting with your clients. And so some people are not wanting that structure. So then they prefer to be their own individual agent. So definitely great question. Tons of opportunities to fit whatever needs your most are in line with you and how you like to learn and what it takes to be successful.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Brandy. One of the questions as well, kind of leaning into what Stephanie was talking about from Seek Staffing due to COVID-19, moving to all online and being able to do more unique hiring practices. John, one of the questions that we have from a student's perspective is enrollment for CBTC. Obviously, we are hearing a lot about COVID-19 and the crisis and what enrollment or the future outlook looks like for CBTC this fall. Any words of encouragement for students to continue on with that enrollment and that there would be a place for them in the unique happenings that take place in the structure for the fall outlook?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a couple of things I'll talk about in that regard. I have had a lot of students contact me who, especially seniors this year, who maybe were planning to go to a university that's not local and have decided because of everything going on, I'm going to stay closer to home this year. Can I still enroll in CBTC and take some general classes and then, plan on going back to that university next year? Absolutely. So if that's something that you've been thinking about, feel free to reach out to me with questions on that. In terms of what we're doing at CBTC, we're really taking it by program approach. Because some of our programs are so hands-on in the nature of both the job and the courses that we teach, we're so fortunate in that we are able to offer them in that in-person environment. We're implementing a lot of different precautions for the pandemic. So some of our programs that are going on in person, we're mandating social distancing. We're setting up the lab so students are staying, at least 6 feet apart from each other. They're wearing personal protective equipment, including masks. There's extra sanitation practices going into place. Some of our programs, like healthcare, they're still kind of coming up with different ways to substitute clinicals and schedule them in different approaches. Typically, we're partnered with all the different healthcare facilities in Eau Claire, Menomonie, and these different areas. So our students will go out to them for clinicals, but because of everything going on, they're not always able to have our students there right now. So there's some alternatives that we're coming up with. And then this fall, certain classes, we're going to be moving online that have that capability. Again, it's kind of a program by program approach, but classes will be running at CBTC this fall. We'll be offering all of our programs. They just might look a little bit different for the time being. But again, we're fortunate in being able to do that and prioritizing the students' health above all else. So even, with some of these face-to-face programs where we're implementing the PPE, we're implementing sanitation practices, if students have health concerns, whatever they might be and they're not comfortable with coming in, we have alternatives set up for them too, so that they can still take part in the class and meet their requirements that they need.
Thank you so much for that information. I think it's helpful in letting job seekers know that if jobs have been affected by COVID-19 and if there's a place that you're interested in or a career that you're looking at going into, and if something isn't available now, making sure that you're checking back as this is a fluid situation and something that isn't available this week may be available next week. So continue on the path that you're interested in and make sure that you're checking back on a regular basis.
Yeah, and just if I could, one moment or one note about real estate. So real estate was deemed essential during the Safer at Home order. So we were allowed to continue to help our buyers and sellers in need. As you can imagine, people are still relocating and, have specific reasons why they may need to buy or sell, no matter what is going on situationally or with the economy or our pandemic state. But one of the great things that's come out of this is things that I think will stay in terms of super extra increased sanitary measures. So small things like having the sellers leave all the lights on so we don't touch all the switches and, not turning them off when we leave so that they are the only ones doing that. And small changes like that, and then much bigger changes as well in terms of, I bring hand sanitizer with me, and before we go in a home, everyone gets a squirt, and when we get out, everyone gets a pump, on the way out, and or they're welcome to wear gloves if they're going to change their gloves between each. As we know from the glove discussion, cross-contamination is extremely important, so that's only effective if you're going to take them off and replace with fresh ones between each property. So we found the disinfecting and sanitizing to be a little bit more environmental friendly, and so that's kind of what we go with. But whatever our clients are comfortable with, we have been wearing masks when we go in people's homes, again, just for minimizing any spread or exposure for either party. So there's a lot of safety measures that have allowed us to continue to work during this time, and then of course doing as much more as we can remotely. So a lot of our consultations that would normally have been traditionally face-to-face are now this format where we start with a Zoom, and do as much as we can digitally. And then we might go in person for showings. And we use a lot more virtual tours as well to really hone in on the property before we actually schedule the in-person showing. So just some of the few changes that real estate has been able to adapt, and I think that are here to stay, which is great for everyone to have that increased awareness of sanitation and using the disinfectant wipes and all of that as well as we go through. So like I said, the great thing about real estate that we've been able to be very fortunate to continue to work through this time and help service our clients. So if you are still looking for a career in that direction, we're still open for business, and happy to talk to folks.
Thank you for that addition, Brandy. Definitely helpful. We have some information here. Unfortunately, the school district of the Menomonie area was not able to join us due to technology issues, but Heidi has provided us with some information for their employment opportunities tab on their website. And she has given us a little bit of a snapshot on what you can look for. And obviously, as you can tell here from their page, they have a variety of different levels of openings, different skills, different education backgrounds. They have an application overview, which is really helpful if you are curious about what is needed for an application with the district. All different workforces have different application materials, whether it be background checks or being able to provide documentation. So this is helpful to see that definitely narrowed down there. So Heidi's information for the school district is going to be included in our packet of information. If you drop your email address, if you're watching live, in the chat box and private message it to Melissa Anderson, our program manager, she would include that. And we will include this website that talks about their positions that are specific to the school district of the Menomonie area. So thank you, Heidi, for providing that. We do hope that you are able to join us later in the session. I know that technology is our worst enemy and our best friend. But does anyone have any additional questions for our 10 o'clock session presenters? Staffing, Keller Williams, Diversified, or Cbtc? All right, we'll take that as a no. So again, the contact information will be included for our presenters. Thank you for joining us. We did appreciate hearing about what your workforce looks like, as well as different opportunities that are available for our job seekers who are attending both at the youth and the adult level.